Hello and God bless. Welcome to our March 29th edition of New Mercies. We are on Monday of Holy Week. Let's begin by acknowledging the Lord's acts of mercy are not exhausted. His compassion is not spent. They are renewed for us each morning. Our gospel today is John 12, verses 1 to 11. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. They gave a dinner for him there, and Martha served, while Lazarus was one of those reclining at the table with him. Mary took a liter of costly perfumed oil made from genuine aromatic nard and anointed the feet of Jesus and dried them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the oil. Then Judas the Iscariot, one of the disciples, and the one who would betray him, said, "Why was this oil not sold for 300 days' wages and given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief and held the money bag and used to steal the contributions. So Jesus said, Leave her alone. Let her keep this for the day of my burial. For you always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me." The large crowd of the Jews found out that he was there and came not only because of him, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. And the chief priests plotted to kill Lazarus too, because many of the Jews were turning away and believing in Jesus because of him. Our gospel today, we have the great story of Mary pouring the fragrant oil over Jesus' feet, and Judas complaining that the money should have been spent on the poor. And it's interesting that Judas knows the cost, the price of the oil, but he doesn't know the value of Jesus. He doesn't know the value of people. And so in our own lives, I think there's a challenge for us to make sure that we let people in our lives know that we value them more than things, where we see Judas values things more than people. So I was looking at how to do that in particular, and I came across an article called 9 Ways to Show Your People That You Value Them in a business magazine. And I thought it was very useful in thinking about how we can show people that we care for them more than we care for things. And the first thing the author says we should do is be interested in other people. We should take time to hang out with them and get to know them. The second is we should provide regular and constructive feedback. We should encourage them in their hobbies and their jobs, and the constructive feedback, not negative feedback. The third is we should invest in them, investing particularly in our time, our energies. We should make sure that we see each person as a potential friend. We should be prepared to lose them, only in the sense that we are engaging them and helping them become the best version of themselves as possible. And that means that they might have to move on to a new tier if that's what's best for them. We shouldn't try to be possessive of them. We should set clear and measurable expectations with that. I think of Dynamics Catholic Marriage Prep program, in which they talk about expectations. And if you set high expectations for people and you don't let them know what they are and they don't meet them, you fill the gap with anger and frustration. And so being clear and precise helps you know that you value them for who they are. Make time for them. You know, we need to make time for people in our lives. We can't just fill ourselves up with busyness at work or busyness through sports or other entertainments. We should take time to acknowledge them publicly and let them know that we appreciate them, not only when people are not looking, but when people are looking. We should also necessarily say tough stuff to them. We need to help them become the best version of themselves as possible, and hopefully they'll help us become the best version of ourselves as possible. It should be a feeling of mutual growth and mutual challenge. And finally, we should give them an opportunity to use their superpowers. In other words, if we know they're really good at a gift or a talent, we should ask them to demonstrate that gift and talent so that they know that we acknowledge their gifts and talents. We should be able to point out to them that we think they're really good at something, and therefore we are blessed to have them as a friend. So today, let's ask God today for the grace to value people over things, and not only to value them, but to demonstrate that value by loving and caring for them. May Jesus Christ be praised, now and forever.